Now, talking education matters, the issue of out-of-school children can result in long-term societal menace if it is not nipped in the bud. As a corollary to this, the government and citizens-led efforts need to be harnessed in order to tackle this scourge. Executive Director, Human Development Initiatives, Olufunsho Owosanoye, while speaking at a training program for school-based management committee members in selected local government education authorities in Lagos, says the roles of SBMCs cannot be overemphasized.
You are supposed to ask why you're not in school, not maybe in a way that is going to frighten the child. That's why we advise them that they should go in groups and then ask the school. Some you find out that they don't have sandals, they don't have uniform. And because we realize some of these things, we have a project in HDI that children of widows, orphans, and those living with disability, we keep them like back to school, so that it won't be an excuse that I can't be in school.
So at such a time, around that period, you don't see children loitering around when they are when they are supposed to be in school. So I think our SBMCs should be monitored to go through to do this role. One of the ways to empower them is to make sure that they have their ID card, to have a monitoring van, and they should be empowered to go out. Not only to sensitize parents about the need for education, but to also go all out to make sure that any child that is not in school when he's supposed to be in school is arrested. The parents are called to order.
Some of the facilitators speak on community awareness and participation in school programs, including the need for citizens to be at the forefront of advocacy in public schools renovation. The interactive session is highlighted by a question and answer session on key areas affecting basic education and the SBMC's roles.
Realize that if your child is in school and the child of your neighbor is not in school, we still have a problem. The problem is this: if, for instance, your own child goes to school, completes basic education, goes on to complete tertiary education and all of that, and this your neighbor's child, whether son or daughter, who didn't go to school, continues like that, then one will likely become a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer. The other one will likely become a tout, a bus conductor, a criminal, an armed robber. So come to think of it, 20 years later, your own child that you trained becomes a victim of the attacks from this other child that was not trained.
Federal government actually plays the major role of administration and management, because what we understand is that the federal government comes up with an education plan, which is actually one of those things that we monitor also, to actually ensure that they have an education plan that will work for every citizen across the 36 states of Nigeria. But one role they play is to actually ensure that the states at the suburb level now are actually complying with this education plan that they've set on.
Moving on.